Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to another Matchday Ticket with yours truly, the Governor. Welcome into the Talking Town Bar. The doors are flung open, and I can see you already piling in. I'm very in the football spirit this evening. I've had some chips, had a burger, and now I'm about to wash it down the virtual pint. On the tap tonight, we've got veteran Varney, Bentley's Barnstormer. That is a nice drop, and a Bywater's Suffolk Punch. Maybe music's more of your thing. We've got 3 hits chosen by, I won't say his name, but Another Brick in the Wall, Comfortably Numb, and Motorway. And this evening, ladies and gentlemen, we are playing 4-4 beeping 2. That's right, do not adjust your sets. 4-4-2. I'm not having this 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. If it's 4-3-3 with Hawkins up front, you might find out there's no more shows this evening. I'll just put it out there now, all right? Because my head might explode. At 2:30 this afternoon, I didn't want to do this show. I was like, I can't live with it. I can't live with the strikers we've got. So, who have we got in the chat section before I welcome in tonight's contributors? Stephen Parry, welcome in. Good evening. We've got Emerson Fairweather, who's at least in the warm tonight. 4-4-2, having a laugh. Amy Downs. Tractor Girl Amy, welcome in. Trevor, good evening. Cruncher, good evening. Amy's just paid for the iFollow. I fear there may not be enough Pinot Grigio in the Leeds postcode area for you this evening, Amy, but we'll find out. Harry Gooden, good evening. Callie's in the room. Good evening, Callie. How you doing? The Crunch, another tenner in Marcus Evans' pocket, Amy. That's right. MDF Cruncher. I like that's catching on. MDF. So, are you at the ground tonight? If you're at the ground, let us know in the chat, and we'll get your message on the screen. We'd love to have you on the show as well at full time if you've been in the stadium, or if you haven't been in the stadium. The stadium isn't the requisite. Just being a town fan is. Adhack Cruncher, found your Facebook. I'll leave the personal details alone. Michael Finch, glad we're playing 4-4-2. It's just a shame Dobra was dropped instead of Judge. Well, on that basis, let's go ahead and bring in our first contributor. He is, of course, the Formula One aficionado. He is Mr. Stephen Thompson. Stephen, welcome in. It's a lovely shirt you're wearing this evening.
Thank you. Yeah, I quite like this. I found it online. A bit of a bargain. It's quite nice.
Absolute. Yeah, well, when you say it's a bargain, are you willing to share with the viewers and myself how much it was?
It was about £20, I believe. I wanted it was the away shirt for my birth year, so I wanted that. It's special.
20 notes. That's not too bad. So I've had a burger this evening, right? I've got the shirt over the jumper, and
Lovely.
I'm trying to get into the Tuesday night spirit. I've even turned the heating off, so we're all freezing cold. Yeah, that's true. And your Tuesday night pre-match rituals, first at the ground, do you treat yourself to a nice burger from outside cobble stand where it's just smelling great, or do you go for McDonald's? What do you go for?
Most of the Tuesday night games I've been working beforehand, and I live and work in Norfolk, so I get the train all the way to Ipswich. Usually there with my stepdad. Been there with my partner a couple of times, but mostly with my stepdad. We'll get a burger. We'll get a pre-match program from outside the Cobbold. I think we've sat in the Cobbold more often than not. And then just get inside where it's nice and chilly. And just look forward to it. So I miss it.
Tell us what you're having for tea tonight. So the at-home Tuesday night match ritual. What is it now?
Well, there's been developments since we spoke. My in-game tea was going to be a packet of crisps and a cheese string with a rum. But my other half has just messaged me from the other room saying I'm now ordering food. Do you want something? So I might be getting Mackey's after all.
That's quite topical, though, because most of our players' hamstrings are like cheese strings. That's quite a topical thing. But on to tonight's team. Let's not beat around the bush. Talking of burgers, we'll give our friendly sponsor. Today's Ipswich Town team news is brought to you in association with Best Burger Stone Market. Consistently high quality burgers at great prices as quickly as possible. Grab the best burger at the back of the Queen's Head Stowmarket. They're not currently open, but it'd be great if we could get them booked up when they are open. Obviously, any business who's had to close due to COVID would be great to get fully booked, so if you can do. Amy says she usually goes for a Mars bar from the newsagents on Norwich Road, and I'll walk there, and then chips from the Chinese takeaway on the way home. I'd love to know what you guys have on a Tuesday night at Portman Road. That would just it would make me delightfully happy. Because I can't be the only person that goes to the burger stand on Portman Road, by the cobblestone. He has been there for years, does great burgers. Anyway, on to today's team. As our second contributor, Mr. Mole sets himself up. So, the team news today. I've gone 4-4-2. Don't tell me anything different because, quite frankly, as I've said, I'd rather peel my eyeballs out than see Hawkins up front on his own. So, 4-4-2, Steve. The fans have wanted it. The fans have asked for it. We got it.
Yeah, but it sort of feels like he's doing it as a bit of a slap in the face, really. Is it right? I'll give you 4-4-2, but I'm going to take Dobra off and stick him on the bench. It's Judge again. Why always Judge? Dobra was one of the few, if any, bright sparks from Saturday, and he's now sitting on the bench again. So at least we've got a 4-4-2.
Fans are never happy. Fans are never happy.
Mate, I'm happy it's a 4-4-2. I'm happy it's a 4-4-2 if it is a 4-4-2.
You didn't put T's and C's with it, mate. You didn't say, look, you want 4-4-2, Paul, but we also want Benton and Hedges up front. We want Dobras down the wing. We want... come on, look, it's 4-4-2. Alan Judge is the senior player. I'm not saying he should be playing. Don't think I'm saying that for a second. But you've got to be happy, surely, that it's a 4-4-2.
I'm happy with that. I really am happy with that. Because the other formation isn't working. But Dobra was, like I say, one of the few, if any, bright sparks from Saturday. I'd rather play our own kids than a lone player. Nothing against Bennett or anything, but and it's Judge again. He's got this strange obsession with Judge that he must. Judge could have a broken leg and it'd still be pushed into the starting 11. I don't understand it.
Well, yes and no. Like Dobra played fairly well Tuesday at the weekend, Neil, but we lost the game. We didn't lay our glove on Portsmouth. Can you really say
Town lost the game? Are you sure?
I know, but can you really say with all certainty, taking the academy goggles off that we all have as fans, that really any player deserved to keep the shirt from Saturday, let alone individuals that we're picking out here?
No, not really. He's seen what he's seen in training, I guess, and that's the team has put out. I don't think we can complain that the fact that he's gone a 4-4-2 because we've moaned for one. He's given it. That's what it is. Let's get on with it.
Good evening, Mike. Beautiful fish you've got there. We've got a few comments coming in before we move on to other areas of the team. We've got Emerson that goes to the same burger bar that I go to, one of the old tarpaulin over. I love that place. In fact, Neil, I think you still owe me a burger from there. Matthew, I have a feeling we're going to get, at best, only get a point. I think we'll have issues getting goals as normal. Callie says I'm from the Midlands, so bringing his own samosas and flask. I like a good samosa. Hey, yeah, bring me one. Emerson says 4-3-3. Okay. And other people say it won't be a 4-4-2. It will be a 4-3-2-1. Look, at 3:15, 2:30 this afternoon, I was on the edge. I was thinking about having one man up front and it not being Jackson, and my head was exploding. Ask Cruncher, ask Matt. So I'm going to go with a 4-4-2 just because it makes it better for me. Otherwise, you may see me crack and cry
have that belief
on the internet, because the thought of anybody but Jackson or Norwood up front on their own makes me want to just cry. Neil, does it not you?
Potentially. After the day I've had, I want a good game to watch. So, yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
Keenan Bennett, traditional winger, in my eyes. Pacey, direct. Yes, he can make some absolute boneheaded mistakes with the ball. But with a 4-4-2, and I'm going to go with the 4-4-2, so just run with me, fans. He is a good winger. He is a sort of winger you want. He'll stretch the play. He'll hold the position out wide. He'll keep their fullback with one eye about not going forward. And that's always important, isn't it, Neil? You're a defender. You don't want to have that freedom in front of you just to roam into it and not have to worry about what's happening behind you, do you?
No, exactly. If he's allowed to do that, it depends what game plan is being given. But
Well, what game plan
if he's
would you
given
give him?
There's the fullback, run at him.
That's a simple plan, isn't it, Steve?
Hey, can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with.
Why ain't
You
Paul
can't go
Lambert
wrong.
ever thought of that one? Can we get a hashtag
that's it.
Neil in, please? Because that's just... I mean, why haven't we thought of that before?
None of this technical rubbish. Run at him.
No, none of this powder puff stuff. Just get at him. Rob, I'd rather play
And
with
also
Gavin.
to pick
Go on.
up on one of his faults, take the ball with you, son.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
he has been guilty. He has been guilty. Stephen Parry says we'll see you cry live at half-time. Possibly. Won't be the first time, I wouldn't have thought. Emerson, if you want a good game to watch, then don't watch this. I don't see that catching on at the ITFC press room as a sort of new PR, New Year slogan. Do you know what I mean? Come back from the Christmas break and say, so what have we been doing over the Christmas break? Oh, I've got a fantastic new slogan for us. What is it? If you want a good game to watch, don't watch this one. But he has got a point. Simo, Accrington now ahead of us with 2 games in hand as things stand. Ooh.
Oh, dear.
Are they playing now, or have they already played? Have I blinked and missed a game? Yeah, you're right. We're outside the top 6 as things speak. Ooh.
Excellent.
So, yeah, not excellent because I can hear my threshold.
We're
being
slowly finding our place.
reached. Well, this is it. This is what I said at the weekend. This is not a good squad. I've said this before, and I'll say that again and again and again. So, Emir Hughes in midfield. I didn't think we'd see Emir Hughes in a Town shirt again. I'm going to be absolutely honest. I thought once he was pulled the other week, that was kind of it. Are you pleased to see him back in the lineup, Steve?
Well, I was always a bit of an Emma Hughes fan, but I think the trouble is with Hughes, he's still living off that loan from years ago, when he did look absolutely fantastic. Obviously limited game time in the past few years with that injury. And since I was so excited for his return. And apart from the odd bright flash here and there, I've seen nothing from him. So, no, to be honest with you. I never thought I would say that, no, I'm not happy to see Hughes, because like I said, I was a fan of him from a few years back. But I'd rather keep him on the bench and then bring him on as a sub later on in the second half, just to sort of hold pace a bit, But from a starter... Well, I say
there's 2 words I didn't want to see in the same sentence
Hughes
together,
and
Neil.
pace.
Hughes and pace.
He's lost all of it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I almost feel anything he does now is purely just to get his new contract. Hello?
What, whether here or elsewhere? Do you see a long-term future for Hughes here?
Well, under the management we've got now, yeah, I see a long future for him.
Jesus.
If we got a new manager in, I think he'll be one of the first ones out of the door. Which is a shame, because as a younger player, he has so much potential.
Yeah, I think he should be anyway. Because I'm getting sort of... Go on, Neil.
We're for enough.
No, you've turned into a Dalek. I'll bring you back in a second. Just give it a little bit of a reboot. It's that it's that hotel Wi-Fi. I'm going to say I don't see a future here for him, or I don't want to see one, because I'm a little bit sick and tired, Steve, of these players that arrive with promise, have a few injury issues, and then play themselves back into a contract only for history to repeat itself. Like, your best ability is availability, and he's not given us that ability enough, has he?
No. And like you say, and Michael Finch said in the comments as well, still living off the Newcastle goal. And that is true, because people are saying, oh no, but look what he did. But that was what, 2016, 2017? I'd love to see a future for him at Town, because I think he was a very, very good player, and it would be great if he could get back to that level again. But unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna see that. And whether he goes to another club and finds himself again, so be it. But
that's fine. But we can't afford now, Neil, in the salary cap era, really, to sort of keep reinvesting time and money into these type of players. And as people are saying in the chat, would you not rather see McGavin start again tonight?
Yeah, definitely. For Hughes has got ability, but does he show enough of it? He has a good pass on him. He is a solid midfielder as far as they go in this team, but he's not what he was. He'll never will be, and I don't think he deserves an extension on his contract. We need to look elsewhere.
Well, like Mike's saying there, maybe knight him once he's fit. It'd be good to see him back again, see what he can do, because he was looking pretty good before that injury.
Problem is, he was always bang average. So if he now comes in and basically is brilliant, we know where our team is, really, don't we?
Yeah, I've not seen enough of him really to say he would be the sort of the preferred a really good option. Then again, I think that's saying more really, and I do agree with Mike. But the bar isn't set high at the moment, is it? In anywhere in our midfield, like Andre Dazelle, for example, right? Currently, if you spoke to 10 Town fans, 9 would say he's probably our best player. Then you speak to Town fans and say about the strikers, and they say, well, they're not getting service. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Andre's our playmaker. So if he's playing well and they're not scoring, that's because they're not very good. If they're not scoring because the service isn't good, well, then Dozell can't be playing well.
Yeah, but you think, are we the only team in this division where we go, rather than the whole team can create and as one be a good attacking force, we go, we'll just have that one man. If he doesn't do it, no one can.
I think
every team has that one player, though, right? Right, Steve?
No.
Every team has a David Silva or a Jack Grealish. Like, they've got a player that makes things tick for them.
And he is neither of those.
he's definitely not a Jack Grealish. I mean, he's a great player, but he's definitely not a Jack Grealish or a David Silva. But there's a lot of good people. I mean, the thing with going back to the Hughes thing in our midfield as well. Yeah, okay, we're starting him right now, but when we've got all these other guys back who are fit, or when they are fit, sorry, he's going to drop right back down the order. So you've got the likes of Edwards to come back, you've got Bishop, you've got Downs, even probably Skews would start over Hughes because Skews can be more dependable in midfield.
Fine, with them players you mentioned, where are they picking up the ball? And where are they doing their cracking passes and who have they got around them?
Okay.
Because if you're asking Dazelle to pick up the ball from just outside our box and play in our strikers, you're having a laugh.
Well, no. Okay, that's a fair point. However, as Jordan says here, Andre's our deep-lying playmaker. Well, tell me what the word playmaker means to you. Because to me, that means makes us play, makes us tick, makes us go. So if we aren't playing, we aren't ticking, we aren't going, he ain't playmaker. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he's a playmaker in our style, non-attackive, clueless team we've got.
That's the thing with him. He'll find these really clever passes and he'll boot out a pass to someone who hasn't even seen it coming. And he tries to make the play. He tries to do it, but no one else is on his wavelength, which is
fair.
Frustrating because he makes these fantastic passes. And when he pulls them off, you think that was amazing because it might lead to something. But half the time, it just goes out into touch, or the player who gets it's gone into trouble because they haven't seen what he's trying to do. Sometimes he's a bit too clever for our forwards, I think.
Yes, and that's where I currently lie. I don't subscribe to the fact he's our best player, that some fans do. But equally, I am firmly, as in case you haven't noticed from today's programme, in the camp of our strikers are absolute terrible. So I don't go, well, they're not getting service. I say they're absolutely rubbish. So,
who would you say is our best player right now? Can you say who is our best player?
Our best player?
When he's not injured, Bishop?
Yeah, well, right now, that's a good... And that's why we're 7th and not 3rd, because there isn't a best player. There's a collection of...
They all let us down.
Our two best players this year are injured. That's Bishop and Edwards, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of being let down or not let down, there is, of course, a protest being arranged by the guys at Blue Action. They are arranging a protest for this Swindon game. We will, of course, throw our weight behind that as a show and a collection of shows. I can't say for individuals on our shows like Steve and Neil, etc. But I will be throwing my weight behind it, which is a lot of weight, by the way. And we will be broadcasting live from the protest that day to bring those that can't make it closer and give you a flavour of what's going on. But we do urge you, obviously, if you do feel things are not going well, to seek out more information on that. I believe Richard Moss, aka the Cruncher, will drop some links in the chat at some point if he's watching, which I think he is. But yes, there is a protest being held. Where do you sit on that then, guys? Protest either against Lambert or Evans. I know which one I'm protesting against, but where do you two stand on a protest being arranged by Blue Action?
Protest is fine. It just
as long
depends
as it's done well.
whether they're going, what angle they're going at, basically.
Well, what angle do you want it to go from? Where do you stand?
Well, I'm at the angle of the impossible.
Go on, tell us.
Is the owner ever going to change? Not as in actually go out the door, but is he actually going to do what is required to move us forward as a club?
So you are on the. If we had two trains, we're at one platform, the Evans out train, the Lambert out train, you're deciding to buy a ticket for the Evans out train.
My ticket's already in my back pocket.
Steve?
It's been there quite some time.
I've bought the first class full lunch champagne in that first carriage on the Evans out train.
Wow, 2-0.
Yeah, okay, Lambert is not great, but Evans, we could have been so big. Where we are could have been so different if Evans had done what was required and if he'd have got his arse into gear and actually backed when we needed to be backed.
I always say,
if Evans had the men around him or had the ability himself, he would see how good Lambert is and whether he is performing or not. And if he isn't, he should have done something about it by now.
Well, and I think more to Steve's point, he's talking about McCarthy. Then I obviously my feelings towards Mick McCarthy are well known, but he would be an Ipswich Town folklore legend by now had he had the support in January, because we would have won promotion. He would have taken us back to the promised land. I'm 100% sure of that. No matter what I feel about the guy and his tactics, he would have done it. And
but he didn't help us, because he always backed Evans and said how brilliant he was as an owner. Well,
that's the thing.
If he had have actually told us that, no, the bloke's not giving me any money, he's basically shafted me, we would have had a lot more respect for him. And rather than him trying to tell us that Tab and the rest of them are the greatest players in the world.
I think, and J-Tab is the best player in the world. No arguments. But I think if you want Lambert out, if you still got on the Evans out train, as I said on Sunday, shit trickles down, right? So when you're at the very top of the food chain and somebody hates your guts, you normally take it out on the next person below you that you possibly can, and then so forth and so forth. So by going for the jugular, you're going to get something happen, aren't you? Just begs to reason. So, I'm not trying to sway anybody. Everyone has their own reasons, but I thought I'd grab what you two felt. Right, we have got 5 minutes till kickoff. I want to discuss Wolfen and McGuinness first of all. They're having a run of games now in the centre of defence. They've not looked comfortable playing with each other. The only other defender on the bench, central defender, is Toto and Ciala. Are you happy seeing them still keeping their place, or are you of the opinion actually, Toto might have an accident in him? But
I would rather see a set. I mean, I know obviously Wilson's injured, but I would rather that would be my preferred one, would be Wilson and Wolfie. But I think with what we've got, I would rather see Wolfenden and Enciala. I know Enciala can be a bit of a liability and he can throw himself into some stupid challenges, but he's also, on his day, he's pretty rock solid at the back. And Mark McGuinness, I'm still not won over by. Again, he's only a young kid, but I would rather see, because you've got Wolfie who's still learning and he's still
progressing, even though he's not really a young guy anymore. Enciala more experienced. I'd rather see those two.
How about, just to throw one out there, how about a Ward Wolfenden back two? Because, Ward is a senior player, good defender, struggled maybe on the left at times, Neil. Would you be against sliding Ward inside for a couple of games until such times maybe as Wilson's fit or whoever, to see what they're back four of, say, Chambers, Wolfenden, Ward?
If we had a decent midfield, you could throw anyone you wanted in the defence. But
so you're still saying the midfield are letting down the two centre halves?
Well, yeah, if we had a decent midfield, you could have Chambers and Ward at the back, and their lack of pace wouldn't show. But as it is, the midfield is what it is, and whatever issue we've got back there is going to show up. They're under the cosh the whole time.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Stephen Parry says he'd rather Wilson or Chambers with Wolf. They're hurting each other than any experience. Mike, Donassi and Wolf back too. Oh, how about Donassi and Chambers, Wolfenden, Ward? No. This time last year, Town fans were almost taking a mick out of Donassi with that video where he sort of kicked it up in the air. And now we're suddenly in a world where we're sort of calling for him. It's all come full circle. Well,
I'm not calling for Donassi. I'll never call for Donassi.
I've called for his contract to be torn up.
Rob Pooley would rather see Ndaba given a chance. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd rather have a young striker on loan from Arsenal than a centre half, personally. Right, 2 minutes. Bold predictions. Guys in the chat, go. What are your bold predictions? Benjamin from Saturday's show said 3-0. The bold bit of that was probably the clean sheet, I'm going to be honest. But I'm going to say 2-0. Jackson double. Steve?
I'm going to say 2-1 because I can't say it's keeping a clean
sheet. As did Blakey.
And I am going to say Jackson and Judge. Why not?
Oh, that's bold. Neil?
There you go.
As I don't want to be complaining about how crap we are at the end of the match, I'll go 1-0 win.
1-0 win. And who is your goal scorer?
Probably an own goal.
Jeez. Mr. Can we get a T-shirt printed saying Mr. Positivity? Right. Mike Davey, 2-1. Matthew, hang on. Don't worry. Matthew's taken your crown already. A 2-1 defeat by the looks of it. Amy, 2-1.
That's what I would go for.
Emerson's gone 0-0. Andrew's gone 4-1. That's bold. I like it. Who is that who's that his profile picture? Is that Luke Heim?
Looks like Heim.
Doesn't it? Is that Luke Heim, Andrew? Let us know. Yeah. Stuart 2-0. Good guy, Stuart. Stephen's gone 2-1 Burton. Oof. Stephen, you found the wrong show.
The only problem with 2-1 Burton is they're still thinking we can score goals. Unless they're going for that Oggy like I did.
Mike Brown, we will win and Lambert will stick 2 fingers up at us. Well,
good.
We'll wait to see. The teams are coming out. We're back at half-time.
It'll be good to see some fight from this side.
It will, you're right. We're back at half-time and hopefully I won't be crying. We'll see you then with love, with care. Look after yourselves and we'll see you at half-time.